Listen, I apologize, but I'm really not sorry, but I get it. There's a lot of anime this season. There's a lot of great shows to watch. But I got another one for you. I honestly walked in, I was ready to not watch this past this episode. This was one of the shows that I went in saying, I'm trying this not because people recommended, but it seemed kind of interesting. But I had my drop button at a click of a button. I was ready because there's so much anime. I need an excuse to cut things from the list. But I can't do it to this one, at least not yet. I get it. The Saturday to Monday stretch, especially Mondays, man, there's like, depending on your interest, you could have like 8 shows that you want to watch on a Monday. I get it. There's a lot of shows. Tuesdays are a little more slim, and if you're looking for something that's actually pretty different, no gimmicks, just a pure interesting romance with a pretty interesting hook. Yeah, you got another one to add to your dinner plate. Unnamed Memory basically follows a prince who is basically going to be the last of his bloodline because his father and him were cursed, and basically no one can bear kids because of the curse that was placed on him. It's basically like a blessing, more or less, that the unborn child just can't basically go into a uterus of a normal woman because it just wouldn't work out. You conquer this tower that hasn't been conquered for a long time. The witch says, hey, I'll give you something for your troubles. And the deal is, you're going to come with me for a year. You're going to live with me for a year at the kingdom. Most likely, they're going to fall in love and it will last past a year. But rather than just kidnapping her and saying, you're the witch, you can bear my kid, it's this very interesting and wholesome dynamic. Like, I know it sounds weird to say, but anyone who's watching Spice and Wolf with Lawrence and Holo, like, you know how genuine that connection feels in terms of their banter? That's literally the same thing as our main man and female lead. Like, they both are just so compatible already. It's fantastic. Do yourself a favor and go watch it. It has the funniest horse animation for characters riding a horse I've ever seen. They're literally like bobbing around like they're washing a cart. It's hilarious. But that's actually the worst part of this anime's production so far, is that the characters bounce in a silly way when riding a horse. But the actual character design, consistency, the actual art animation when it gets like insane with the action, it's honestly a banger. Full live reaction though over on my Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thoughts to Unnamed Memory episode 1. It's going to be over there if you're interested. So I honestly walked in hoping I could drop this. I really did, because I'm like, I need a break. But when and here's the thing, I'm already avoiding like a handful of shows that I probably would enjoy, just because it's like, okay, they already air on days I physically can't do more shows, and if I push them to a Tuesday or a Wednesday or Thursday, no one's gonna watch it anyway. And then a show like Unnamed Memory says, hey, I get it, you're gonna defer maybe a Monday show to a Tuesday, we gotcha, but hey, this Tuesday show, you should probably check it out too. And honestly, it's a good time to be a romance fan, because like there's actually some decent pure romances and stuff like isekais that are also seemingly romances that are doing it right. But the idea of just like a genuinely likable guy, like there's arrogant, and then there's arrogant but with confidence that doesn't make you a douchebag. And that's kind of like what our main man, I think his name's Oscar, is. So we start off with this tower. He has like his traveling companion with him. He doesn't do a whole lot. He's pretty much scared. He's what most people would be going through this tower. And our boy, the first test, it's like this room's filled with all these snakes. They're crawling up your legs. He immediately just grabs one and says, not poisonous, and throws it. So he's no longer scared or worried, because it's like they're a nuisance, and solves the puzzle. That's the true thing. But you can see how a test like that would screw with most people, because you're like scared of all the snakes around you. You're not going to be able to focus on the problem at hand. And the idea that this is a witch who's used to people just not being able to make it, so she's like, oh, we'll give him a consolation prize. No, the guy gets to the top. He thinks he loses his friend in the process, but obviously the witch saves him. And I think the witch's motivations towards this tower are really interesting. So as she puts it, that a lot of the people who go to conquer this tower, they never come back. So it makes it seem like they're dead, right? No, what ends up happening is people who are there for fame and fortune, who don't make it, she alters the memory and then sends in a different direction. Pretty much like it seems like she does the Men in Black memory wipe and makes him have a whole new life. Which probably is pretty fair when you're coming to be a greedy scumbag and, she's letting you leave with your life. Not the worst thing a witch could do to you. But as it's also put from her familiar, if like a sickly mother came because she needs medicine for her kid, even if they fail, which they seemingly always do, she'll still help them. So it's all about who the person is. And I think that's a big reason why once our boy gets to the top, it's pretty much like they're just so compatible. They get a little feisty, she's ready to throw a spell, he's ready to cut her head off, but hell, a little roughhousing is always a little fun in the bedroom, you know what I mean? They just seem like they spark and connect rather well, but it's the way they talk. There's just something so natural. Her character is adorable. She's like the most adorable female lead of the season, if I'm being honest, at least for me. There's something about her character design, her voice, her mannerisms. She just seems so cute and wholesome. And the fact that our main man, who yes, has a resting bitch face, he seems like he would be normally, you know, anyone who watched the Seventh Time Loop, the villainess from the previous anime season, the main character in that, resting bitch face, and is a lot more cold and ruthless. Nice guy deep down, but he's a little more sharp. That's what you would expect from a character like Oscar, but he's actually just like, he's got a lot going on. He's trying to carry on the bloodline, and he's got like this curse that he's tried desperately since he was a kid to remove. And it turns out it's basically a blessing, and honestly, it's a curse in terms of normal situations, but it's a blessing if he could get someone pregnant. It's a very funny exchange. She's like, listen, I'll find you a woman. Maybe she'll be old. If that's the case, we'll have to do a little magic modification on the uterus, but we got you, bro. 20-year age gaps, it happens all the time in your line of work. And I'm like, it's just good, man. Like, there's something about the banter, and honestly, the banter of these two, well, yes, it's different given the situation and everything, but the chemistry and the way they interact feels as perfect as someone like Lawrence and Holo from Spice and Wolf. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there like that. That's how much I like it. This was a very good first episode. Now, the studio in question typically has very questionable productions in terms of visual consistency. And if the worst I can see from Studio NG is gonna be the wacky horse animation with how the characters bob and weave like a bobblehead, it's hilarious. I love it. I hope they show it every episode. Then honestly, we're gonna be eating good. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels it, but honestly, the opening song is very Ancient Magus Bride vibes. Like, the song feels like you could actually pull and place it on Ancient Magus Bride for an opening, and it would fit right in. Very good song, ending song, very good as well. This could be something special, and if not, this was a very good episode that I was hoping I could drop because I need a break, but if you're like me, and you have a wide palette for anime, and you're not just like a romance guy or an action guy, but can kind of go for a bit of anything. Man, it feels like you want to get up from the table, but they keep giving you another slice of cake and you can't say no. Let me know what you thought of episode 1, though, down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more. And like I mentioned, we got the full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Justin Hayes, T.A., Amy, Timbo J. Duncan, Alcium, and Miranda Shaw. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.